Namaste everyone, and welcome, good morning to another of our daily Qigong challenge. So today we're going to start with some basic silk reeling, and this is an exercise we do just to get the joints loosened up. And in Qigong, silk reeling it's about moving. When one part of the body moves, the whole body moves, and so you'll feel that hopefully and see it and experience it through this practice. So finding a comfortable spot and just somewhere that you can stand with a bit of space around you, or you can do this seated too, and adapt it to the chair. So first you're just going to open up the wrist joints, and this is just to start bringing the body to awareness. We do this at the start of all of our practices, really flexing them fingers and the wrists just to let the body know there's some movement coming, gently waking it up. Open up the elbow joint, letting the elbows drop down a bit, let the shoulders be nice and relaxed. You could always open up the shoulders a bit as well, give them a bit of awareness, let the tops of the shoulders bring them round, and then just a couple of times to reset. You can feel that movement slowly opening up the spine too. Okay, and you can always as well just wake up a bit into the lower body. Again, feeling the soles of the feet on the floor. If you sat on a chair, you can imagine sinking slightly and just rub those hands over the thighs, bringing some awareness to the lower body, and noticing as you're dipping down and lifting up, the whole body is moving from the head to the tips of the toes, bringing some awareness to the soles of the feet, right the way to the top of the head. Okay, so you can always as well turn your ankles, because they're ones that don't get remembered very often. Flexing the toes and turning the ankles. And again, even when you're standing, you're balancing, you're aware of your whole body, your hands on your hips, your head lifting up. And for the silk reeling then, so these are really nice gentle exercises, and we're imagining, you could imagine whether it's energy, whether it's blood, just imagining from the balls of the feet where we've got our bubbling springs point, you can imagine like a fountain, just water flowing up through the body. And it's just getting things circulating, getting things started. This is a nice one to do at the start of a day or a practice. So, balls of the feet kind of slightly shoulder width apart. For those that are sat in the chair, you can imagine just dipping from the tailbone. And basically you're going to take your chest forward and the hips go back, and then your hips go forward and the chest go back is the upper body movement. So for those in a chair, this is going to be your movement. Hips, you can imagine pushing forward from the hips and coming back from the chest is the kind of movement, and we can dip and accentuate that, and that's going to bring it into the neck as well. You might want to warm up the neck in advance of some of these, but for this one we're just moving forwards and backwards, being nice and gentle and just keeping a slight lift in the crown. And for those of us standing, feet slightly wider than shoulder width, what we're going to do is we're going to imagine that is coming right the way through the soles of the feet. So we're letting that wave, we're waving all the way from the soles all the way up the legs, pushing them hips forward, chest comes back, head goes forward, and the neck. So it's hips forward, chest back, hips back, chest forward. And we're just feeling really gently just a wave coming from the soles of the feet right the way up every vertebrae of the spine, right the way up the neck. And it's like silk, it's a very gentle movement, gentle flow, with a nice breath as feels good and right for you. And this is just opening, loosening. We can bring in a subtler version as well to open up what they call, so here we've got the cranial base, which is where the brain stem, where the brain meets that network of information that goes the way down our spine, the spine carrying all that information. This is kind of a really important point. This is, to me, is an important point as well, as where I imagine a lot of information is coming in, is exchanged. So we can open up this point as well. This is one we open up when we're in our Wu-Jing standard. And so you can imagine just that point there, just lifting slightly. So instead of the neck going completely further forward, this time we kind of stop and lift up when we get to the top. And it's just going from the tailbone. So imagine dipping the tailbone and then a subtler movement, the hips still slightly forward, the chest slightly back. But as we get to the top, we just lift in the crown. So it's a nice gentle movement. So you can have a play with them. And the whole point of silk reeling is to have some whole body awareness and just gently get things moving. So let me know how that's gone, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 3.